Welcome to Inside the Nest,
where you get a bird's eye view of everything that's going on here at GCT Intermediate.
Hello, I'm Jaden Ross.
And I'm Silas Richardson.
And here's today's news. Students are currently trying out in the library for their class quiz book teams. Based on how they perform in the library during these trail runs, a class team will be determined, and they will represent their class on the day of the tournament. We will be announcing that date very soon.
Here in this area, snow rarely happens, but when it does, we sure have some fun. Let's see what some of our Eagles do when snow actually falls in our area. Here is Rayleigh Baldwin with that story.
Hi, I'm Rayleigh Baldwin. Will we have a snow day? Who knows? It's Arkansas. But if we do, my dad's going to start a fire and I'm going to have a cup of hot chocolate. I'm here with Zeke Depew. Zeke, what would you do if there was a snow day?
I would play my Oculus and sleep in for the day.
Okay, if there's a snow day, I'm a 12-month worker, so I'll have to come in if I'm supposed to come in. So unless the superintendent tells us not to come in, if it's real bad, we don't have to come in. But if not, we have to come in and clean off the sidewalks and everything to make sure y'all don't slip and fall when y'all come back. So
Okay, thank you.
we're trying to keep y'all safe.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else?
Riley Sims. Riley, what would you do if there was a snow day?
I would go play out in the snow and drink hot chocolate.
Thank you. I'm here with Caleb Thomas. Mr. Thomas, what would you do on a snow day?
Oh boy, on a snow day, besides getting to sleep in for a change, I still have to feed my cows, so I have to get out in the snow and let them have something to eat.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Rayleigh. I plan on playing outside and doing random things like that. In order to get a better idea of our snow chances, Jaden and I reach out to Chief Meteorologist Ryan Vaughan to discuss the future weather predictions and also learn about the weather patterns we have had in this area in the past. Here's that interview.
Chief Meteorologist Ryan Vaughan to interview him about the snow in Arkansas. What is the chance for snow this winter in Arkansas?
Well, I try to, in November, do a long-range forecast for what the winter will look like. And how I usually do that is I look at the pattern that we're in now, and then I compare that pattern to years in the past where we've had similar patterns. I did that this year also, and it does look like it may be a little bit above average from what we usually get. Now, when you say above average, immediately, if you're a snow lover, you're like, yes, it's going to snow all winter long. Well, not necessarily. You've got to remember that Arkansas isn't typically a snowy state. On average, we get about 5.5 inches of snow for the entire season. So that would be like, 1 3-inch snowfall and 1 2.5-inch snowfall. You may only get 2 storms the entire winter. So when we say above average, that could be 6 inches, 6.5 inches, something like that. Here's what I'm really thinking we'll see. We've had some years here lately where we get nothing, or we get like a little dusting and it doesn't impact the roads. I do think that we'll get 2 or 3 winter storms this year. Nothing too terrible. You guys are probably too young to remember the ice storm back in 2009. A lot of the adults still talk about the ice storm. And anytime you say winter's going to be bad at all, they talk about the ice storm. And we'll probably never see anything that bad as far as ice ever again. But I do think that we'll see more snow than what we've seen in the past few years. I mean, even this morning, we have some snow falling in the Ozarks. The pattern does support more snow this winter, but still, we're not a northern state, so it's going to be tough to get the big snows.
Okay. Second question is about how many inches of snow do we have to be out for a snow day?
That's a great question. We've got a lot of things that are coming into play now. Like take a day like today. There have been 3 or 4 inches of snow in some parts of the state outside of our viewing area this morning, but it's not sticking to the roads. A lot of times, the only way that you guys get out of school is when it sticks to the roads. If it's all in the grass, it really doesn't cancel school. How that works is when you get the roads to mess up because of buses. And then we've got the whole new thing this year with virtual school. You know, there were a lot of question marks going, okay, will there ever be snow days again? And I'm not a superintendent, so I can't answer that question. But I will say that back in my home state of Tennessee, they had some snow last month, and the schools did have snow days. They didn't make it a virtual day. So hopefully, for the sanity of kids and for teachers, hopefully if we get some snow this year, they will just call off school.
How cold does it have to be for it to snow a lot?
That's a good question. You know, a lot of people, of course, know that freezing is 32 degrees, and so they automatically think, okay, it has to be 32 or below to snow, and that's not necessarily the case either. When we're looking at the weather, and we're looking at the forecast, and we're looking at what is happening, you've got to think of the atmosphere as a three-dimensional perspective. So let's say here's the ground, and then this is where all the snowflakes are built, way up here in the atmosphere. So even if we're sitting at 33, 34 degrees, everything else may be below freezing, so it can snow. Even in a situation like we have right now, we've got some really cold air aloft. And you really, even though, let's see what the temperature is, so it's 38 degrees at my house right now. You go just 1,000 feet up, and it's going to be below freezing. We've got this upper level low that's coming in. So even if the temperatures here at the surface are a little bit above freezing, it can snow. The warmest I've ever seen it snow, I saw it snow one time, and it was like 47 degrees. It was wild, but it was just so cold aloft. Same thing can happen as far as warm air aloft. That's how we got our big ice storm back in 2009. It was like 29 degrees, but you just go up 500 feet, 1,000 feet, and it was well above freezing. So everything was falling as liquid, and you looked outside and it looked like rain, but everything was freezing on the surface. So weather is a very interesting thing. It's not just what happens right here, but it's what happens all through the atmosphere. So I know that's a long answer to your question, but it's a little bit more difficult than just saying one way or the other.
Well, that's good to know. How much snow do we usually accumulates in a season?
In a season, we average about 5.5 inches of snow per year. Now, if you know, past few years we haven't had 5.5 inches of snow, or if we do, it's very short-lived if we get something like that. But keep in mind, this is an average. In fact, meteorologists argue sometimes about calling things normal or average. Nothing's really normal when it comes to weather, especially here, it seems like. So when we talk about averages, we look at 30 years. And over the past 30 years, if you add up and average all of the snowfalls, it comes out to be about 5.5 inches. So I'm hesitant to ever call it normal because back in 2012, on Christmas night, we had like 10 inches of snow here in Paragould. So of course that is well above average for just one storm. But the average is about 5.5 inches of snow, usually spread apart across about 2 or 3 wintry events.
Okay, thank you. That was probably our last question. That was interesting. We did not know a lot of that stuff.
Thank you, Mr. Vaughan, for taking time out of your busy schedule to share that with us. Now for our upcoming events. The end of the first semester will be January 15th. Exemption days will be offered on the 14th and 15th. To qualify for those days, you must meet the following requirements. No OSS, no ISS, no bus suspensions, no missing work, virtual work included, no grades below 70 for this semester.
Virtual Monday, January 18th, no students on campus. That means learning from home. A small team of 4th grade PACE will be representing GCT Intermediate on January 14th in a regional quiz bowl tournament via Zoom. Good luck, guys. A chosen 5th grade PACE team will compete on January 27th.
Now for our Wicked Spotlight. 2021 is here, and with that, many of us make some sort of New Year's resolution.
These vary for everyone, so we thought it would be fun to see what some of them are this year. Here is Addie Lashley with a few of our Eagle family members to see what they are going to commit to during this new year.
Hey guys, 2020 went by in a blur, and we went out here 2021 New Year's resolutions. Let's go.
Addison Lashley and I'm here with Case Allison. So Case, what are some of your New Year's resolutions?
I want to kill a bigger buck, catch a bigger bass, and that's basically it. That's all I want to do.
Mr. Button Boy. Hello, I'm here with Miss Shelby. So Miss Shelby, what are some of your New Year's resolutions?
My New Year's resolutions are just to work as hard as I can, do the best thing I can do in everything I do, and just to be friendly to everybody and keep everyone safe and happy. I just want to be a good person and share the love and spread the happiness.
That sounds like some good New Year's resolutions. So I'm here with Hunter Chastain. So Hunter, what are some of your New Year's resolutions?
To spend more time with my family and get my mullet bigger.
I'm here with Jared Buck. So Jared, what are some of your New Year's resolutions?
I want to become a better person in life and get more pets.
Thank you, Addie. My New Year's resolution is getting better grades.
Mine is maybe getting better at some sports. Well, that's all for this week's version of Inside the Nest. Follow us each week to get the inside scoop at GCT Intermediate.
Bye.
Bye.